My name is Maya Chen. I'm 29 years old, a data analyst living in Denver, Colorado. I never thought I'd wake up in a sterile white hospital room, my legs suspended in metal braces, with the steady beep of monitors cutting through the crushing silence. But what hurt more than the shattered bones, more than the surgical scars across my torso, was my father's casual voice in the voicemail. "Hey kiddo, it's Dad. Your mother and I are at the gate now. We're about to board our flight to Barcelona with Tyler. The doctor said you'll be laid up for a while, so we figured there's nothing we can really do. Don't try calling us overseas. The international charges are insane. Get better soon. And thanks for the emergency card. We used it for the upgrade to first class. Talk later." I dropped my phone onto the hospital blanket. My hands weren't shaking from medication or trauma, but because something inside my chest had just collapsed. Just 3 days earlier, I was T-boned by a drunk driver while heading home from another late shift. I don't remember the impact, just the bright surgical lights and the cold pressure of the oxygen mask. I was unconscious for nearly 4 days. When I finally woke up, my entire body felt like it had been reassembled wrong. My legs were held together by titanium rods. My chest burned from internal injuries. The doctor said I'd need at least 6 months before I could walk normally again. I asked the nurse, "Have my parents been here?" She hesitated. "They visited while you were still sedated. They didn't stay long. We tried reaching them afterward, but the calls kept going to voicemail. It wasn't until the next morning that I saw the voicemail from my dad, a brief, thoughtless message that cut through me like broken glass. Tyler, my younger brother, had always been treated like something precious and fragile. He dropped out of university twice, struggled with basic responsibilities, and at 26 still lived in our parents' converted garage, streaming video games and launching failed business ventures with the money I sent home every month. Meanwhile, I was financially independent since 22, still wiring money back to cover their mortgage, their car payments, even my mother's yoga membership. Now, they were in Barcelona, posing in front of the Sagrada Familia, eating tapas with expensive wine, using the credit card I'd given them for emergencies. Meanwhile, I was lying here alone without a single genuine visit. The lightness in that voicemail made my stomach turn. My father laughed. Tyler laughed. And I swallowed my tears so the hospital staff wouldn't see how completely broken I really was. When Dr. Reeves came in to check my progress, I couldn't hold it together anymore. I broke down completely, my whole body shaking as I whispered like I was confessing something shameful. "They went to Spain, left me here." Dr. Reeves set down her chart and pulled a chair beside my bed, her expression darkening with disbelief. "I've been practicing medicine for over 20 years, she said quietly. "I've seen all kinds of families. Some camp out in waiting rooms for weeks, some visit once and disappear. But leaving for Europe right after their daughter nearly dies, I've never seen that." I let out a hollow, bitter laugh. "They said I'd be fine because there are nurses here, because there's nothing else they can do from the outside. My family always seemed respectable and loving." My father, David Chen, was a district manager for a logistics company in Phoenix. My mother, Susan, ran a small catering business. They showed up at every neighborhood gathering, always holding hands, chatting warmly with friends, and me. I was the dependable daughter, the one who learned to balance checkbooks when mom was overwhelmed, did homework while dad worked late calls, and stayed quiet whenever Tyler was obviously favored. I'll never forget my 17th birthday. Mom promised to close the catering kitchen early and take me to my favorite sushi place. I sat in my new outfit waiting on the porch for over 3 hours until I got a quick text. "Sorry, honey. Tyler just got called for a last-minute job interview. Can't miss it." I ate leftover pizza alone. Tyler is 2 years younger than me. Tall, charming, decent at soccer, and terrible at everything else. He struggled in school, cycled through jobs constantly, dropped out of college during his second year because the professors didn't understand his learning style, and was always described as a free spirit, still finding his path by my parents. Meanwhile, I got into Colorado State on a partial scholarship and landed a job at a growing tech company in Denver. After landing my job at a fintech startup, I moved to Denver and handled everything myself. Every month, I still sent at least $2,500 home, covering my parents' mortgage, helping with utilities, dad's back medication, and startup capital for Tyler. The first time I sent money, mom called crying. "Nobody's ever helped us like this." I'm so grateful, I believed her. But the following calls turned into requests. "The catering business is slow this month. Tyler needs a new camera for his YouTube channel. Your dad's car needs repairs." I kept sending. I tracked each payment in a detailed spreadsheet. On one rare visit home, I noticed a brand new hot tub in the backyard. Tyler grinned. "Check this out. Your money really made it happen." I smiled weakly. At that time, I was sleeping on a futon I'd bought from a thrift store. I remember clearly. The night before the accident, I called and said, "I need to scale back. I'm trying to save for a house. I can't keep sending money indefinitely." Mom went silent, then started crying. Dad jumped in, voice sharp. "What kind of daughter are you? We raised you for over 20 years, and now that we're getting older, you abandon us." Tyler didn't say anything, just sent a disappointed emoji. I hung up, hollow, but strangely relieved. Relieved because I thought I had finally set my first boundary. And then, just 3 weeks later, I lay motionless in a hospital bed while they were raising wine glasses in front of Barcelona's cathedral. Nurse Jennifer knocked gently, carrying a tray of broth and juice. She looked at me and said softly, "You don't get to choose your family, but you can choose who belongs in your life." I didn't respond. I just stared out the window. It had started raining, and for the first time, I knew I could never go back to the place I once called home. I opened my banking app. Every transaction made while I was unconscious appeared clearly, like being slapped with receipts. June 14th, just 3 days after the accident, a charge for $12,847 at Mediterranean Travel Solutions. The note read, "Payment for 3-person Spain tours with first-class upgrade." I went cold. While I was getting emergency surgery, they were finalizing luxury flight upgrades. 3 more charges followed. $680 at Zara Barcelona, $845 at Barcelona Bike Rentals, $1,240 at Restaurante Mir. I opened Facebook and searched for Barcelona and Mom. Within seconds, I found a post, 3 of them smiling brightly in front of Park Güell, holding gelato. The caption read, "A well-deserved vacation after years of hard work. Gracias, Barcelona." Beneath, it was a comment from Tyler. "Thanks to the Bank of Maya for funding our soul-searching journey. They'd planned this, and when I said I wanted to reduce my financial support, they weren't hurt. They were panicked it would ruin their Spain trip. But strangely, the emptiness my family left behind wasn't a void. It became space for others to fill." Jennifer, my morning nurse, was the first. She didn't ask out of politeness. She asked because she genuinely cared. She shared that she'd worked as a trauma nurse in Detroit and had seen terrible things, enough to recognize pain that hides behind silence. Jennifer started bringing me small things. A cup of homemade ginger tea, unscented hand lotion. One day, she brought a worn copy of The Glass Castle from her personal library, saying it helped her understand dysfunctional families. My primary physician, Dr. Martinez, began stopping by, even outside her scheduled rounds. One day, she brought a small container of her grandmother's flan and smiled. For my most resilient patient, I also had a roommate, Mrs. Eleanor, 67, recovering from a slip and fall. When I broke down crying, she removed her headphones and simply asked, "Want someone to sit with you?" From then on, each afternoon while I struggled to lift my legs and practice standing, Mrs. Eleanor sat in the chair holding a small timer. "Every movement is progress," she often said. "No one, not even family, gets to take that from you." Even Marcus, the custodian, knocked on my door every morning with a cheerful grin. "Did Maya conquer today?" he'd ask. He had a habit of leaving a peppermint on my bedside table like he was delivering a royal gift. A week later, Jennifer brought in a small card. "Family isn't blood. Family is who shows up when you need them most." Beneath it were handwritten names: Jennifer, Eleanor, Dr. Martinez, Marcus. 4:30 a.m., I woke up from sharp pain in my left side. But this time, I didn't press the pain medication button. Instead, I turned on the bedside lamp and opened my laptop. Tonight, I didn't want to go numb. I wanted to feel everything, both the pain and the growing determination in my chest. It was time to reclaim what was mine. I started by calling Lisa, a financial advisor Jennifer had recommended. Within 4 hours, Lisa helped me close all my old accounts and open 3 new ones at a different bank with enhanced security. I changed every password from banking to payment apps and all linked investment accounts. I called the utility company, the internet provider, the car insurance, every service registered in my name but serving the house in Phoenix, and canceled each one. I called the auto financing company. I was making payments on 2 vehicles, an SUV for Dad, a sedan for Tyler. "Can you arrange repossession?" I asked. "As long as the contract is in your name, it is. I want to terminate every obligation to them." Each call was a severance. Each service cancellation pulled me further from the shadow I'd lived in 4 years. I called the airline using the booking confirmation. 3 round-trip tickets from Barcelona to Phoenix, first class. I canceled them, arranged the refund to my new account, and added a note. Transaction made without account holder's consent. You're stranding them there. The customer service representative asked softly. No, I replied. I'm letting them pay for themselves for the first time in their lives. At 3 a.m., I knew they'd returned when my phone rang. The screen showed Dad's cell. I didn't answer. 15 minutes later, the messages flooded in. First came anger. You think this is funny? We're stuck at the airport with declined cards. How dare you? Then threats. You cut us off financially. You cut us off permanently. We'll take you to court. Finally, the emotional manipulation. Mom's having panic attacks because of you. Tyler has nowhere to go since you took his car back. I moved them all to a separate folder. I didn't respond. 4 days later, the hospital informed me that 3 people were in the lobby asking to see Maya Chin. I looked at Jennifer reading beside my bed. She closed her book and asked gently, "Want me to stay?" I nodded. You're the only family I have left. My parents entered the room, faces flushed with anger. Tyler followed, still tan from the beach. They froze, seeing Jennifer sitting there, calm like she belonged. Mom spoke first. Do you even realize what you've done? Abandoning your family mid-trip? Humiliating us in front of friends? Stealing family resources? I looked directly at her. No trembling this time. No, I just took back what was mine. Dad slammed his hand on the windowsill. You're acting like a stranger. No warning, no discussion. How is this different from throwing us into the street? It's different, I said. You still have a home, just not one I'm financing anymore. Tyler jumped in. You ruined everything. If you didn't want to help me, fine. But you took my car. You want me to walk? You're 26, Tyler. You can work. You can buy your own car. I don't owe you lunch money, let alone a sedan. I leaned over and picked up the envelope I'd prepared. These are the terms if you want to remain. In my life, Dad opened it, scanning the pages. 3 conditions. No financial support in any form. Contact only with advance permission. If boundaries are violated, contact ends permanently. Is this a contract? Dad sneered. These are boundaries, I replied. Mom crumpled the envelope. I won't sign this. I won't accept this. You're no daughter of mine. Tyler threw his old house key onto the table. Go live with your nurse friends. They left, slamming the door hard enough to shake the water pitcher. Jennifer sat beside me again, saying nothing, just holding my hand firmly. 4 weeks later, I was discharged. Jennifer picked me up in her personal SUV, the back seat equipped with soft pillows and a small sign, Maya's New Beginning. I moved into a small apartment Eleanor had helped me find. Every morning, Jennifer drove me to physical therapy. Every evening, I read by the window, slowly learning to stop checking anyone's bank account but my own. One evening, Jennifer asked, if you could do it all over, would you change anything? I shook my head. No, because if none of this happened, I wouldn't know what home really feels like. She smiled. Then, welcome home. Maya's story reminds us that love doesn't mean unlimited sacrifice. Sometimes families create relationships based on dependency and control, turning the most generous person into a silent victim. But when we have the courage to set boundaries, when we reclaim ownership of our own lives, it's not betrayal. It's a brave step toward healing, because sometimes real family is found in the unexpected kindness of people who choose to care.